TG Geeks, episode 171, May 28th, 2018. From vampires to browncoats to fandoms of all kinds. Hello and welcome to another webcast from tggeeks.com, where Ben and Keith, the two gay geeks, talk about all aspects of geekdom and nerdery. Sci-fi, comics, film, horror, genre. You name it, we talk about it. I am Keith Lane. We're coming to you from TG Squared Studios in lovely Phoenix, Arizona on Memorial Day weekend.
And I'm Ben Raggington, also coming to you from allergy-ridden, because I've got some really bad junk going on in my throat and stuff. Phoenix, Arizona.
Yeah, so it's Memorial Day weekend, and that usually is the time for Phoenix
Comic Fest.
Comic Fest, yes. This year it's Phoenix Comic Fest.
Last year was Phoenix Comic Con.
And we're going to just talk about our wrap-up of that right now. Well, that's no indication of anything that happened at Phoenix Comic Fest, but...
Well, actually, something did happen.
Yeah, something did happen.
There was a little mishap with the alarm system on Saturday night, so they had to evacuate the entire convention center.
Yeah, that was a little strange thing that happened.
Yeah, everybody blames Will Wheaton for that one.
Well, it wasn't his fault.
But the last time he was here, there was a fire alarm situation, and now he's back, and it happens again.
Oh, well, that's interesting. So, so there was a little evacuation thing, and they had a press conference on Sunday morning early, and an official from the Phoenix Convention Center did come out and say that it was a malfunction in the alarm. There was no malicious intent. And that they, checked it out, reset the alarm, had their technicians check it out.
But the good thing is that it happened late in the afternoon, going into the evening, so it wasn't blistering hot outside.
True, and however, there were several events that were canceled.
Yes.
And one of them was the Blue Ribbon Army's Kids Need to Read, 80s Bash, or Rocket's 80s Bash, I think is what they called it. And that was supposed to be a fundraiser and a dance contest and all kinds of stuff for Kids Need to Read. They're actually giving refunds back, but I would encourage anybody that gets a refund on that to go ahead and make a donation to Kids Need to Read, since that's what it was for anyway. So the other things that we did, man, there was a lot of stuff, just so many things.
Too much, as always.
Too much. We didn't get there till Friday afternoon, and we stopped by, and very first thing is we went downstairs to the dealers or exhibitors hall. Yeah, call it the dealer's room.
It is a dealer's room. Let's be real.
Yeah, anyway, for the old people that referred to it as that. Tony Kim, who is our friend from Hero Within, had his booth right outside, just right in front there with his wonderful DC merchandise. And unfortunately, he hasn't released his Marvel merchandise yet, but he did say to us when we stopped by and talked to him that his Marvel line would be available for Comic-Con in San Diego.
Yeah, so hopefully he said that he'd be happy to talk to us again just before that.
Absolutely.
So we hope to be getting having another conversation with him very soon. He was very excited about it too.
Yeah. Then we went into the hall, and of course we made a beeline for Tom Levine's booth because we know where his booth is always at. Unfortunately, Jeannie Koch was not there this year.
Boy, and her absence is felt.
It really was. I mean, they were always right across from each other or catty-cornered from each other.
It was this wonderful little authors, little coalition of power authors. Jeannie, Tom,
Michael Stackpole.
Michael Stackpole was there. It was always just a great little collection of some just awesome Arizona authors. And now she's in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So we picked up a couple of Tom's books, and and we're able to talk to him just briefly, and we welcome him to
Welcome
the fold.
To the fold, yes.
Yes. And then we wandered around. We talked to Brian Augustine, of course, good friend of the show, and in between him talking to folks that stopped at his table, and we found Al Sparrow
Yes.
over there, who is the one of the inkers and whatnot of Red Skirts, as well as some of his other stuff that he's done is incredible. We hope to have an interview with him sometime soon.
You've been meaning to do that for a while now.
Yeah. And as we were walking around, we were trying to get to the Amazing Wicked Writers with Terry L. Smith. She's almost got an entire 2 rows, both sides. It's amazing with all of the authors that she's gathered together there. But on the way, you discovered...
I got stopped.
Yeah, you got stopped.
I mean, this guy literally puts us on it, and he I don't know what it was, but he wanted to talk to me. Maybe it's the shirts that we wear when we go to these events. But it was Kevin Glover, and he's got a couple of comic book lines or graphic novel lines, one for adults, another one for children. One's Fractured Scary Tales.
Yeah, that's his website, fracturedscarytales.com. But he stopped to you and talked to you for a little bit.
Yeah,
and
he wanted to know.
I came over,
wanted to know more about us, and then he told me that that they got another comic book line that they're about to put out, which is very LGBTQ. And said, well, definitely we need to talk to you. And he was also very interested in the fact that we were big supporters of independent creators. Obviously, that really rang true with him.
Yeah, so hopefully I've sent him an email, gave him a card as well. So hopefully we'll get to talk to him about that new line of comics that he has coming up. And then we talked to Terry, and we talked to Andrea and Duncan Richoff that were there, and a couple of other writers that she has in her little stable there of peoples. And then we talked to Barbara and Bryant Dillon of Fanbase Press.
I only got to see Brian. You got to see Barbara.
I was just saying we, as in us, over the course of the con, got to speak to those at Fanbase Press. That was what I was trying to indicate. Not that you missed out on any of it, but you did.
I did.
Anyway, yeah. So then we also stopped by the Allied Marketing booth and talked to Patrick and Lori, and just briefly, and just said hi. Talked to the folks at Finger Paint Marketing. We didn't get back by for their...
No, they were going to have some nice display on Incredibles too for Saturday, and we just didn't get the opportunity to make it there.
Yeah, and we bought a couple of books from L.E. Modisette Jr.
So how did we come in contact with him?
Well, that was because Jeannie said we should be talking to him. And we looked at, my God, he's been writing books since 1978.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's book upon book upon book upon book. And he just, so many different series.
He just did one book and then never stopped.
Yeah, hard science fiction and fantasy across multiple genres. So we picked up a couple of his books. I said, Jeannie Koch had said we should talk to you, and we would like to read some of your material. What is a good entry level book or intro into your writing? And so he showed us a couple of books.
And he's taking a unique approach to universe building in one of his fantasy series. So it will be interesting to see how this comes off.
Yeah. I'm excited about that. As soon as we get one of those read, I'll give him an email and
have a
hopefully have a chat with him. And we saw a wonderful 3D artist.
Oh my goodness! This man took classic comic book covers of both DC and Marvel and created 3D work. It was just incredible. We got a card, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. It's 3dartandmore.com.
Oh, the stuff
3D
is
artistic
just
design.
Beautiful. I mean, really, I couldn't stop taking my eyes off it. I mean, it's one of these things you can just stare at it.
Yeah.
For hours, just because of the way it's created. It's
a multiple level.
Yeah, very very multi-level kind of artwork. That you have to see it to believe it. Hopefully, we'll get a chance to talk to him down the line. But I think what he's doing is just beautiful.
Yeah, hopefully, we'll get to buy some of his work down the line
I
too.
wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind having it on our studio wall.
Exactly. And we stopped by the lightsaber booth of Saber Forge.
Oh yeah, have to go by
They
there.
had really some interesting. We had some friends with us that have young kids, so they were interested in looking at the lightsabers. They were a little, I mean, I thought they were pricey, but I don't need a lightsaber.
No, I don't need a lightsaber. And I will admit the quality of the work is beautiful.
Really great.
It's really stunning.
Absolutely. And we stopped by and talked to Carrie Merrill. I had talked to her or chatted with her previously on Facebook and to find out that she was going to be there. Picked up one of her books, and it was just it's great. Now I will say that when we go to a con, we try to take cash because you run across authors, they have to carry those books. They have to buy those books out of their pocket, even though it's their book.
Right.
They have to buy them from the publisher out of their pocket, carry them to the con or ship them to the con. They have to, pay tax. And if they're taking credit cards, they have to pay the credit card fees, and they have to pay for their table space and their hotel and all that kind of stuff.
There's a lot of overhead, basically, for an author to do an appearance or to have a table.
Absolutely.
It's not a cheap event.
So we always like to, if we've talked to an author or read some of their work, go by their table. We saw Carrie last year and didn't get a chance to stop back by, but I picked up, her work on for Kindle and read the stuff. And then, obviously this year we went back by and bought a book, but we always carry cash to do that. And I would make that suggestion to anybody going to a convention is take cash, because pay for these, some of this stuff with cash, especially the authors and the people that are doing sketches and that
any artist
artwork that's there. They're there because they have to drag all that stuff. Now, some of the other things, some of the other vendors, that's part of their doing business. Granted, it's
Well, like Zia, they had a display there. Comicbookhero.com, they've got or superhero.com.
Yeah,
they've got.
I was going, what?
Yeah, superhero.com.
You made my head hurt with that.
Superhero.com. I mean, but these are businesses,
right? And so they are set up to build that into their prices, and the authors and the artists are there just because, and so they have to take, they have less turnover in their products than like someplace that's a big business and does that for a living.
And if you want to make an author really happy, I mean, the happiest authors are those they sell everything out before the con is over.
Absolutely,
they love it.
Yep. And usually you can get the author's books at their table at a really good price, and they will sign the darn thing.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
It's
they're
wonderful
happy
to have. I mean, we have Carrie's book. We bought it twice on Kindle, and then we bought a copy of it. I mean, she's had several books, but everything that we read, we buy it twice on Kindle, and then we buy a hard copy.
Right.
If we want to and get it signed. So we have the shelf of books that we have signed.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So enough of that. That was my little advertisement for authors
and then tie
artists.
that in a little bit with our little visit with Beth Cato.
Yes, that was the one I was forgetting here. I forgot to put on.
It just came to me right now.
We talked to Beth, and obviously we have read her books, the Blood of Earth series, and it is just incredible. There's one that's coming out in October, and we're going to hopefully see her in September and get another interview with her.
Yes, with
about
any luck.
The new book coming out. And it was great to go up there and see Beth and get a book and have her sign it and talk to her and get a cookie too.
Yeah.
Anyway, and we also saw Tommy Cannon there.
Yeah, I mean, just literally bumped into the guy.
Yeah, and he has got his Kickstarter going for Fred the Mustard Packet. If you haven't read any of it, go to Webtoons and look, or just look up Fred the Mustard Packet on Google, and it will take you to his webtoon. Oh my gosh, it's just craziness. It's all about Clem's Corn Dog Corner or Corn Dog Shack or something like that, and the condiments have come to life. So it's insanity.
It's nuts.
Some of the artwork is crazy, and the storyline is crazy, but it really is enjoyable. But he's doing a Kickstarter to produce an actual book, so we've given to that, and hopefully we'll have him as an interview soon as well.
Very soon.
Yeah.
Because Tommy's been a great supporter of us. And
Yeah.
it was just really great to see him.
Absolutely. And we stopped by a Cult Classics of Arizona booth and talked to Victor Moreno for just a moment. He's got some great things going with Cult Classics, and they do a film, not a film festival, but every so often they do a classic horror or genre film at one of the local theaters. So it's great. Give them a look up on Cult Classics AZ. And then last but not least,
for the second year in a row.
Yeah, we're walking around, and conveniently, as we're standing there, Greg Grunberg walks by with his he just took his sunglasses off.
Yeah.
And so we recognized him, and it was like, okay, there he is again.
Yeah, we that happened to us last year at San Diego, and now here in Phoenix, and it's like, he's one I would like to get to, because he likes to do a lot of independent stuff as well. So he'd be a great person to chat with if ever could make that happen.
Yeah, and you went yesterday or Saturday. You went with we took some friends to the Comic Fest, and you went down to the Jedi Training Academy.
Yes.
With Logan, and enjoyed that.
It was cute. I got some photos, and they put those on Facebook. But they just had some people there who, dressed in the Jedi robes, and they were teaching people how. They gave them, like bats with foam on them.
Yeah.
So you couldn't really hurt anybody, and they just showed them certain moves. And at first it seemed kind of simplistic, but then actually it was not bad. There was some really good choreography there, and how everything was number synced, and they showed how to be take an attack posture as opposed to a defensive posture, the way to move your legs, all of that. It was a lot of fun. Poor Logan, unfortunately, his sparring partner at the beginning was a little bit too aggressive, so
oops.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I went with Bailey and Greg, and we went up to how to break into the gaming industry. So it was a great informational panel about how to get in the gaming industry by Eric Wilde, who has been with Sony Entertainment Studios, I think. And so it was interesting to hear how to kind of break into that. So it was kind of a nice panel. And then we also went to the Hogwarts
it was
Swish and Flick
panel.
Yeah, so that was kind of interesting as well. And that kind of rounded out the number of panels. And I mean, we walked around the floor quite a bit, and it was a good con this year. So and then the big thing. Sorry, you were going to say something.
No, I was going to say. I mean, we didn't get to hit everything we would have liked to have hit.
No,
but there was some really great vendors, and it was just really, again, wonderful to be able to network and to reconnect with a lot of the people that we've come to know over the past few years.
Yeah, and then there actually had been a pre-planned press conference on Sunday morning, and it turned into a recap and announcements about the evacuation from Saturday night. But also the actual press conference was that next year they're going to be renamed, and they're going to call it Phoenix Fan Fusion. And that was because they changed it to Comic Fest this year because of the ongoing litigation against several other companies for using the Comic-Con name, and they just decided to go ahead and take themselves out of the line of fire, shall we say, and change their name to Phoenix Comic Fest. And they said that just didn't roll off the tongue the way they wanted it to. So.
It doesn't. I mean, everybody keeps tripping over that one.
Yeah, and they decided, they said that they looked at a number of names and tried to figure out what would best fit what they do, and they decided that Phoenix Fan Fusion kind of fits the bill of where the company is going and what they're trying to focus on, and that is the fusion of fandoms, not just comics. While comics is still a huge part of this festival or convention, they wanted to fuse all the fandoms that they are representing together and make it a collaboration. So that was really what that was all about, and it was a good press conference. So congratulations to them.
And we have that. We have the press release for that on our website at tggeeks.com. So please check it out when you have a chance. It goes into greater detail about everything that they're talking about regarding Phoenix Fan Fusion, as well as the details regarding the Saturday night event.
Yes, the Saturday night event, evacuation event.
Yeah.
And that was kind of our coverage of Phoenix Comic Fest this year, 2018.
Hey guys, my name is Gigi Edgley. I play Tiana on Farscape, and I'm the host of Jim Henson's Creature Shop Challenge. And you're listening to the amazing, awesome, amazing, brilliant, perfect, wonderful 2K Geeks. Mwah!
Can we hire her?
I wish we could.
She's awesome.
Had the money to do that. And here's a few selected birthdays for May 28th through June 3rd, 2018. May 28th, Ian Fleming, who was
who was actually a spy.
Yes,
in his own right. So
exactly.
He took his experiences and created James Bond.
Absolutely. May 28th also is Gladys Knight
of the Pips. No.
Gladys Knight
and
the Pips, but the Pips were born different times. This was Gladys Knight's birthday.
Okay,
but there would be no Pips without Gladys, right?
Right. Yeah.
Anyway,
moving right along.
Also, Jim Thorpe, born in 1888, Pottawatomie County, Oklahoma. He was a Olympic athlete, most notably for in the early part of the century.
What did he do?
I can't remember. I didn't look it up, and I just remember because Jim Thorpe is from Oklahoma, and everybody always talked about him. Anyway. So also on May 28th, a great, big, huge, enormous, wonderful, happy birthday to Patricia Chica, our friend and associate. We want her to have the happiest birthday ever.
Well, so far she's been having a really good year with Morning After.
Yeah, absolutely, and she's got several other things in the pipeline and all kinds of wonderful things. So
and she's been so good to us.
Yes.
Oh my goodness! I mean, can't say enough great things about her.
Happy birthday, Patricia. May 29th, Danny Elfman. Kind of interesting that you watched the...
Yeah, that was pretty good. I was watching a Great Performances. No, was it Great Performances? I can't recall. Yeah. I think it was a Great Performances, and at Live in Lincoln Center, they did this concert of Danny Elfman's scores.
Yeah.
And at the very end, he came out and sang some songs from Nightmare Before Christmas, and it was great to watch it.
Yeah. Also on May 29th, Rupert Everett from Cemetery Man.
Oh, yes.
Yes, and David Burka, who is the husband of... my brain just...
And the thing is, I know that name.
My brain has gone crazy. Oh, well, we'll come back to it.
No kidding.
And Eric Wolfgang Korngold, he was a composer, and most notably for founding film music along with Max Steiner and Alfred Newman. They're the ones that really kind of just came in and created film scores. Before that, it was kind of they picked up music here and there, but David Burka.
Neil Patrick Harris.
Yeah, Neil Patrick Harris. Yes, I saw you waving, but
David Burka is a chef, and he's married to Neil Patrick Harris.
Yes, but
anyway, moving on.
Anyway, Eric Wolfgang Korngold was the composer for Captain Blood in 1935, starring Errol Flynn, and he won an Oscar in 1936. So he was, if you've listened to, there's some other things that are hanging out there that he wrote some classical music that was not 20th century sounding. It was more in the classical period.
More romantic?
Yes. So give a listen to some of Korngold's music. May 30th, Colm Meaney and Adele Dazeem.
Idina Menzel.
I'm sorry, I didn't have my glasses on.
That is never going away.
Never. Also, Mel Blanc and friend of the show, Michael Ferris. May 31st, Colin Farrell, Walt Whitman, Rainer Werner Fassbender, who was a controversial director, screenwriter in Germany, and just had a vision that was unbelievable. So go ahead and look him up. Also on May 31st, Peter Yarrow.
Peter, Paul, and Mary.
Yes. June 1st, Dick Rutan. He's an aircraft designer. Tom Holland.
Spider-Man.
Edward Woodward. Rene Auberjonois. Marilyn Monroe. Andy Griffith. Jonathan Pryce. And Kip Thorne, the famed physicist. June 2nd, Wentworth Miller and Zachary Quinto, yeah. And Marvin Hamlish and Johnny Weissmuller.
The original
Tarzan. Oh.
That needs to be isolated and used as some sort of sound effect.
Yeah. On June 3rd, James Purefoy, who was in Altered Carbon.
Oh, God, well, so good.
Yeah, and Chuck Barris, who was the game show host of The Gong Show,
and
among others, and was supposedly a CIA spy or something.
Yeah, I mean,
who knows?
Yeah, I kind of want to hit a gong on that one.
Yeah. Where is my gong?
Kidding.
I don't have my gong, but we'll do this one.
Really?
Yeah. Anyway,
warning.
And also on June 3rd, Randy Lapham, who is the lady friend of Russ Kazmierczak. And that's it for the birthdays this time.
Hi, this is Holly. You're tuned in to Krypton Radio. It's sci-fi for your Wi-Fi.
Go give a listen to our friends over at Krypton Radio.
What? At Krypton?
Krypton Radio.
Krypton Radio.
No, that's a local Phoenix place. Krypton Radio.
I love that bumper. It's so professional.
It is so cool. Well, we have to hear it again.
Yeah.
Hi, this is Holly. You're tuned in to Krypton Radio. It's sci-fi for your Wi-Fi.
Okay, I yearn for those for those production values.
Yeah.
I really do. That sounds great.
Yeah, so Gene Turnbow is head of Krypton Radio, and he has gathered a lot of wonderful content over there. Go
check it
out. And now, what time is it? It's that time again.
Oh, yeah.
Time for listener feedback.
Feedback. Yeah, I need to have an echo effect going.
Feedback.
I'm sure there's something on the soundboard that allowed you push a button and then it go feedback, like that. But
yeah, but then it would get stuck there, and We'd never get rid of it.
Probably. Anyway, starting off, episode 169. This is where we actually got to interview Arkle, Brian Weber. And during the interview, he talked about a show called Slipstream. And he just simply makes mention that there's a rather cringy scene in there, and it might be a deal breaker. But he still wants people to check it out because he still thinks it's a good movie. So there that is. Also, we ran an article for Social Saturday for the Film Bar here in Phoenix, and we got a comment from Hamish Downey. He says, places like this are precious. It's so easy to sit at home and watch a DVD, but we really have to get out there and support our local art house cinemas. These places are a window into the world for many, and I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, and the Film Bar is kind of nice. It's downtown in the one of the historic districts. They've taken over a building.
Sort of like a historic art district.
Yeah,
now.
and they've revamped it and made it into a little cinema, and they got 70 some odd seats or so.
It's a really cool place.
It's kind of a neat place. Yeah. So if you're in Phoenix, go check out the Film Bar.
Yeah, and they do some. They show some fascinating things there.
Yeah.
Also, we had a Spotlight Sunday article, and it talked about all the people who help contribute to our show. And we got a comment again from Hamish Downey, and he puts forth the news sushi article that we talk about, or that we put out on Fridays.
World famous.
World famous. And he says, Ben and Keith have the knack of making one feel more famous than Norma Desmond, and simultaneously as at ease as is speaking to my oldest friends. I'm truly honored to be a part of this site in my small way. I really enjoy having a platform to showcase my creative friends. Yes, he gave a kiss. And then he adds, if you have something you want showcased, please let me know, meaning Hamish, and he'd be happy to do it.
Yeah.
And then we got another comment from Jeannie Koch, another one who writes the old classics newly reviewed reviews from time to time. And she says,
I have to say that when I highlighted Jeannie, I pulled out some of her stuff from her bio, but I mentioned that she had moved to Atlanta, and that she was
now friendless,
and Steve were there, and they were watching everything on Turner Classic Movies because they have no friends. So
interesting. Okay, because Jeannie comes back with, I'm required by law to mention that I am not actually friendless here and do have some very good friends here. Not a lot of them, and they're busy people just like we are, so we're all usually working and such rather than jet-setting about. But I do have them, just not as many as I had in Arizona. And then she parenthetically adds, post-courtesy and paid for by good friends of Jeannie in the greater Atlanta metro area.
Yeah.
And then we, contributor Ro for us, she posted a trailer for The Happy Times Murders. Prepare yourself, these puppets are not safe for work. And we got a simple comment from Arkle, and he just writes this: it looks bad, very bad. The end. You need to see it. We've got that link on our website. And then Jeannie, we're just talking about her. She did an old classics newly reviewed of The Big Sleep. This is a bogey movie from 1946.
It's a bogey of a movie?
No, it's a movie with a bogey.
Oh, I see.
Yes. And Hamish Downey comments with, I couldn't disagree. She didn't like the movie. I mean, she doesn't love it.
For
a variety of reasons. Yeah. She doesn't care for it. It's not her favorite. And Hamish writes, I couldn't disagree more. This is one of the greats. I adore this film. It is a bit confusing. Let's say that the woman who played Carmen really stole the show in the original cut, but she was mostly cut out of the star version, which emphasizes star power over plot. The book is a ripper, too, and explains the plot better, with more than a mild gay subplot.
Yeah.
Jeannie,
this was a Bogey and Bacall film,
right?
That kind of established their
on-screen
chemistry.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Jeannie Koch wrote, the Hubs, meaning her husband Steve, adores Bogart. I've liked Bacall in other things. This had a lot of style, but it was incomprehensible and impossible to follow. It's a classic because Bogart's in it, but that's the only reason. I did find a new appreciation for Bogart because I don't find him attractive in any way, and yet I could believe he had every woman eating out of his hand. However, that's not enough to make me ever want to see it again or to recommend it. Jeannie, tell us what you really think.
Exactly.
Oh, you did. It's in the article. Check it out on tjgeeks.com.
Yeah. And we want to say that we would welcome your comments on any article and, of course, our podcast or webcast. Anything that you find, wherever you find it, on Facebook or on any social media or on our website, you are more than welcome to comment on it, and we will talk about your comments and we'll give you a shout out on the air. And if you want to leave a voicemail message, you can do that at our listener feedback line at 469-TG-Geeks. That is 469-844-3357. And as always, please play nice.
Yeah, baby. They're like two gay geeks. They're together, you know. They're two gay guys and they're geeks. Is that okay?
Oh boy. It's game time. Are you done?
I'm done.
Oh, thank you. We had not just Phoenix Comic Fest this last weekend, but the weekend before, we were in Woodland Hills, California, which is not far from L.A., at WhedonCon.
At WhedonCon. That's why the intro was from vampires to browncoats.
Right.
Yeah. So the guest of honor was Sean Mayer and
of Firefly.
And then there was also another guest, which seemed to be getting most of the traffic anyway.
James Marstairs.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the real hit.
Yeah.
You know, which was I feel kind of bad for Sean. And Sean's a really nice guy.
Yeah. And we'd love to talk to him on the show.
I'd love to talk
to Sean. We got a
Sean.
picture with him too. It was really kind of nice to have
he's
a
a really
with
sweet
him.
guy. And
Yeah.
he actually wanted to talk to us about our iPhones, which I thought was awesome.
Yeah, it was interesting, yeah. And there were also several other guests there, and most notably Gigi Edgley.
Yes.
She was there because Uncharted Regions, Neil and Jana Halford, were there to present their second radio drama called These Haunted Hills, and we went to that panel. And
it's really good.
Incredible.
It's a rough cut.
Yeah.
I mean, poor Neil he was just literally burning the
Slaving
midnight
over that
candle.
thing,
I mean, he
yeah.
only got like an hour of sleep trying to put together a presentable mix. So it was very much a rough cut. We are very excited for when the final mix the final mix is down there. It'll have all the music that he's writing for it. So I can't wait to hear it. But what we heard was really interesting.
Oh my gosh. It was
filled with some nice little kind of twists and turns.
Yeah,
in there
it was
too.
an incredible radio drama, a theater of the mind, if you will.
Oh, yeah.
And so we got to, and Gigi was in that, so that was why she was there for that, and among other things. And we got a photo with Gigi, or several photos with Gigi. So
she's
it was really
doll.
kind of, and got to chat with her. She is just a wonderful individual. And we walked around the little dealer room that they had there, and we saw
some real. We saw this one table.
Oh my
great
gosh,
art!
My gosh, there was all this artwork there, and it was across multiple genres
and
styles. And this gal was there, and I said, "Did you do all of this art?" And she said, "Yes." Her. It was all hers. It was incredible.
I mean, really amazing stuff.
Gosh.
I mean, we are not sugarcoating this. I thought the artwork was brilliant. I mean, one panel she's drawing work of a cat that is like it really looks like something that Edward Gorey would have drawn. And then another moment she's drawing this cute little spirit-like teddy bear, and she did it with dots, and it looks all kind of almost like something out of a Disney effect. It was amazing.
Yeah, and she had. It was so many different styles. I was amazed at how many styles she used, because most artists are kind of, they pick their style
and they really stick to it.
That's what they draw and do their thing in. But she had multiple styles. Her name was Rachel Walker, and she's Edge of the World Art. And it's incredible. We picked up they have a little comic book. It's called Spooky the Cat,
and it was
Tells the Future.
She drew it, and the story is by her husband, David Cohn.
Yeah.
And the cover is so
It's just
cute.
it is so cute. Yeah,
It makes me think of a little
little
tiny
black
kitten.
cat, yeah.
It's Bagheera when he was a kitten.
yeah. It's a little black cat with a crystal ball, so it's really cute. So we're gonna take a look at that, and hopefully we'll have them on the.
I hope so, because
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, I mean, again, no sugarcoating. She is really, really, really good.
Really good.
I'm seriously good.
Yes.
So I can't wait to talk to her.
Yeah, and then we discovered actually during the Uncharted Regions.
Hey, an old friend showed up.
An old friend showed up, Larry Nemechek, and we found
Actually,
out,
we bumped into him, and we were at the Starbucks near the lobby, and
Yeah.
he just kind of walks in, and yeah, it was a great little reunion.
Yeah, I mean, he had a panel there on Portal 47 and all things Star Trek, and so that was kind of nice. We went to that panel, and we also ran into a friend of ours, Gene Turnbow from Krypton Radio.
Yeah, because
And
he had something to do with these haunted hills
Yeah,
as well.
he was introducing that, and his wife is actually on the staff or something of the Whedon
of Whedon Con, yeah,
so
she had something to do with that.
it was nice to talk to Gene and chat him up a little bit.
Oh yeah, it was great.
And then later on in that evening, we kind
This
of
is the
hung
best
around.
part.
And the best part was after the dealer's room closed and Neil had gone up to take a little nap, Neil and Jaina joined us and Larry Nemechek in the bar for drinks.
Oh, this was the
And-
best time.
Oh my God, so much laughter.
Yeah,
There were,
it was so funny.
and of course, Neil and Larry and myself being from Oklahoma, some of it turned into stories about Oklahoma.
Oh,
So it was just
there is one. I mean, now here's the thing. The whole bit about, if Larry needs to get his Oklahoma accent back. Now, granted, that story, you had to have been there. You had to have been at the table
Yep.
listening to this, but it had me just falling over with laughter.
Yeah.
I mean, and, it was a jewel. It was just wonderful. And it shows that, Larry is a very animated character. To begin with, but when he's really relaxed and he's socializing, he is just so unbelievably entertaining.
Yeah.
And so is Neil.
Oh yeah.
Neil's amazing. Both
Get
all of
everybody
them.
together
I mean,
there. It
yeah,
was really a lot
we
of
had the
fun.
greatest time, and then we went out to dinner after that with Neil and Jaina, and that was just such a great weekend.
It really was a great weekend. We stayed in Burbank and actually across from the airport at the Marriott there, because that was the most least expensive
Right.
hotel. And we actually on that Friday night, the con was on Saturday that we went to, and then on Friday night we went
Yes.
to see 2001: A Space Odyssey, and the restored 70 millimeter print. Now,
Yeah.
it was a print, and they took an original film negative that they found in 1992, and they cleaned it up.
Do we
They
have a
did-
press release on that?
Yes.
Yeah, so check that
no,
out.
No, not press release, but you
Well,
did.
I do have a review for that, so please
maybe
check
I
that
did.
out. I thought you did a press release on that.
I don't recall. Anyway, but Christopher Nolan was in charge of this restoration, and they did what is called a chemical restoration. They cleaned up the negative that they found, and then they produced another print.
Right.
So it was absolutely incredible. Now, the film was on the big screen at the ArcLight Theater,
Mhm.
and it was really great. There were still some artifacts, but you can't help that when an old negative is found and there are artifacts on there. So, but anyway, that was really great to see that at the ArcLight Theater.
It was an amazing experience. The movie looked absolutely beautiful. Everything just popped off
Yep.
the screen. It was gorgeous.
Yeah. So that was it for the last weekend, and so I guess we move on to the next thing we have, huh?
I just verified we don't have a press release on that.
yeah.
Darn. But yes, there is a review. So, but let me cover everything else that we just ran
Yeah,
from
this week.
Right. So starting from Sunday, May 20th, we ran an article on all of our contributors who help with the website, everything that they
tggeeks.com, go.
yes. And then on Monday, of course, we had episode 170, and then also Ro, one of our contributors, she shared the trailer for the Happy Time Murders. Prepare yourself, these puppets are not safe from work. And then on Tuesday, I had a review. It's for the third book of Child of Atlantis. The book is called Catalyst. And we also ran a press release. Somebody new came on board.
Tom Levine climbs aboard as a contributor.
We're excited about that because he's got some ideas on things he wants to do for our website. We're very excited. And then on Wednesday is my review for 2001: A Space Odyssey under the old classics, newly reviewed. And also, Andrea Richoff, she got to go to a press screening on Chesil Beach, and she has a review about the acting and the story there. So check that out. On Thursday, May 24th, had a 3-episode thoughts on this latest season of Elementary. And for people who don't know, the series got renewed.
Yeah, it was only supposed to be the last season, and only
13
about
episodes.
6 or so episodes.
13.
13 episodes.
13 episodes. It got renewed for 20. They gave another additional 20, and they've renewed it for a 7th season.
Yeah,
Go
amazing.
figure. So, but yes, I've got my 3-episode thoughts for Elementary this year. And then on Friday, you've heard from Hamish Downey, and he has his news sushi, morsels of news from Japan and beyond, issue number 12. And I said I now say he's the outer planet famous.
Yeah.
Last week was the inner planet of the solar system. Now it's the outer planet. And then also had a review for a fun frolic of a ride with Solo, a Star Wars story. So check that out. And then on Saturday, we ran an open forum article for our social Saturday about, hey, anybody out there, if you know of a really cool geeky place or a geeky event in your part of the world, it doesn't have to be Phoenix.
Yep.
But you're part of the world. Hey, let us know. We'd be happy to share it on our website at tggeeks.com.
A little geeky place or a nerd nirvana or something like that.
Or some event that's coming up.
Yeah.
I mean, we know we talk about that, if we want to put it on our calendar, but it kind of goes in line with that. So, yeah, if you know of a really cool place that nerds like to hang out, let us know. We'd be happy to share it.
Yeah, and we do have all of this interesting content on tggeeks.com. For those of you that are only listeners to the webcast, check out our website, tggeeks.com. We're going to have lots of things on there.
Mm-hmm.
So check out the stuff that we do. As always, we have our follow-up items. Check out our calendar, and that's kind of rolling into our Social Saturday events. So let us know of anything that we should know about that we should talk about on this show. In a follow-up. There are several new books that are available for pre-order that we have listed in our widgets on the right-hand side of the page. And the first is Beth Cato's Roar of Sky. It's the third book in the Blood of Earth series. And The Last Sun by Katie Edwards. This is his first novel.
I should point out that Katie Edwards just tweeted earlier today that he turned in the manuscript for the second book, The Hanged Man.
The Hanged Man. Oh, cool.
He just turned in his first completed manuscript for book 2.
Yay. So check out the widgets on the side of the page and pre-order those. It means a lot to the authors and to the publishers if you pre-order. And as always, Arizona Opera has finished its season, but they begin in October. It's going to be an incredible season.
I have never been
wonderful things.
I have never been so excited for a season as I am for this year.
Yep. So check out azopera.org and for tickets and what's going on next year. And as everybody knows, we are huge supporters of independent creators, and whether it's filmmakers, comic book artists, writers, or others. Please consider supporting those independent creators by buying their stuff.
Right. Special shout out to, I'm going down the line, Doctor Who Talking Who, Michael C. Burgess, Human Arkle. They're all on Twitter, and they have paper leads that continually republish our content. Doctor Who Talking Who's is the Doctor Who Fancast Guide. You can find it by going to Twitter at Talking Who. Michael C. Burgess's is the Byronic Semi-Journal Aggregator. You can find him on Twitter at Byronic. That is Byronik. And the Human Arkle. His is the Arkle Times Post-Dispatch News. You can find him on Twitter at Arkle, A-R-K-L-E. And speaking of him, he has his incorrect Star Trek Voyager quotes on Tumblr. We'll have the link for that on our show notes for this episode, and Brian is hoping that he can kind of get back to that and put some new fake quotes out there. Also, special shout out to the Facebook group The Gay Geek for allowing us to post our episodes and sometimes related stories on their page. The URL is facebook.com/group/thegaygeek. It's a private group, so you'll have to sign up for it and get approval. But generally, you'll get approved so long as we like to say, as long as you play nice.
Exactly.
Because everybody is welcome. And, as always, a special thanks to their high imperial moderator. His name is Jeremiah Reeves. He's a really awesome guy. Thank you, Jeremiah, for all of this.
Yes, thanks, Jeremiah. And we want to remind you to occasionally click on our Amazon ads at the bottom of each page and on the right-hand side. It just gives some traffic to Amazon, and every once in a while we get a little kickback from them. Not much, but occasionally. And lastly, check us out, but not leastly.
I don't get it.
I don't either. Check us out on iHeartRadio and iTunes and YouTube and Stitcher and all of the usual places. We have...
And the unusual places.
And the unusual places. So check out everything at tggeeks.com. Up next time, we don't know what we're going to have, but we will have something for you. So stay tuned. You never know what's going to happen. Okay, that should do it for this episode of TG Geeks Webcast. Be sure to check out the article of this webcast episode at tggeeks.com. We're going to have several links on the page. And remember, you can comment on our Facebook page or our website, or you can leave us a voicemail at 469-TG-GEEKS. That is 469-844-3357. From TG Squared Studios, I am Keith Lane. Thanks for listening. I bid you peace.
Cheers.